if you have a dream, if there's something you want to do, don't be afraid to do it, because life is really short, and when we get through it, there's nothing wrong with saying I failed at something, but if you didn't try it, you never know. This is McNabb's Bay, or the Malagash Basin. It's Canada's first oyster farm.
The pictures tell the story. This life had many shades. I'd wake up every morning, and before I'd start each day, I'd take a drag from last night's cigarette that smoldered in its tray. Down a little something, then be on my way.
I wake up in the morning. I feel the way I did when I was 19 or 20. Then I try to move. The reality comes home to me. But I have so much to look forward to when I drag myself out here and look out the window at the bay. You look out at it, it's never the same twice. It just, there's always something different. If it happens to be flat, calm, you'll look out and there's a reflection from something, or you know, there's a cloud, there's a shadow from a cloud. There's never a time it's not something different. And, it always has a special, unique beauty that I see in it. I've found it other places as well. There's so much beauty in the world, but I don't know, this is just the one that I'm so connected with. Well, the family had been involved in oysters right from the very beginning. So historically, I had heard stories about it. And as I was working at all these other things and running in circles, cackling like a rooster with his head half chopped off some of the time, I needed something to relax. And I always thought if you were going to relax, it'd be a good idea to make money while you were doing it. So I started out with a license to recreational fish oyster. Then I had the opportunity to move that to a commercial license. Alrighty. What am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything? Oh yeah, I got myself another pair of gloves. They were right there. Thank you. The hand from behind the door. Ha, there. Oyster farming, you work in harmony with nature. If you have the right system. Now ours is all based on working in harmony with the bay out there. I go out, one of the boys or workers go out, and we fuel up the harvester, we fire it up, we head up to one of the leases, we harvest until we get either how much we need or how much we want for that particular day. Morgan, you want to fire her up? It's a simple process, but we're able to track every oyster from the time it comes off the lease straight through until when we ship it by doing it the way we do it. Nancy and Rachel look after all those records. Thank goodness I don't have to.
Well, we met through his cousin, who was one of my best friends in Oxford, and we just hit it off. I think that I have joined into a rich heritage of the oyster industry in Nova Scotia. Well, I do just about everything except for the actual harvesting on the barge. I I do a lot of paperwork, although Rachel is starting to take over that as much as possible, and she's leaning towards that. But we do a lot of the cleaning, sorting, selling, basically anything that goes on in the plant, Rachel and I do. It's very fulfilling feeling that she's going to be taking over and working with us. I really enjoy working with Rachel. I guess our personalities, click together, and I just enjoy working with her. She's pleasant and fun to work with.
My greatest joy is when there's myself and when Rachel or any of my children and their children, when we're all together doing something. It's just something that's a part of our heritage or our DNA. René Leroy, who was head of BIO, Bedford Institute of Oceanography, we were talking one day and laughing about the oysters. I was telling him about my father feeding me one before I was a year old, and my father saying that the oyster was nature's most perfect food, far better than milk. And René said, well, that may very well be the truth. So I don't know. If I had my way, I would never charge for an oyster.
Would you like to sit down at the picnic table?
And eat the
Oysters are all about a good experience.
This is your dessert, is it?
Yeah.
In the native
That's right.
culture, food is something you share, and an oyster was something that was special in the culture and something to be shared at a party or a gathering or a get-together.
Sometimes he's hard to keep in line.
Has a lot of different.
I think that's a man thing.
If you take an oyster out, you open an oyster up, you share it with somebody. If you're lucky, maybe you have a sip of beer or a little sip of wine or something along with it. And it's an experience, and it's a sharing of something in common. And it just gives you a good feeling. Love sailing. It's again, it's something that brings you so close to nature. It's also quiet. I like motorboats, but I prefer sailing. It gives you a very great feeling of freedom, very relaxing. There's always something there that brings me close to nature. Something, it's very difficult for me to put into words. Whether it's my First Nations part of me or whether it's just the way I'm put together or what, I don't know. There always has been a relationship between myself and the land and the creatures of the ocean and of the forest. I just can't quite put it in words. It's just a feeling, and it keeps me going.
I love looking out on it every morning, and I especially like the evenings to look out and see the sunsets over the bay. It's just beautiful. It turns the whole bay either a bright orange or reddish. It's gorgeous. I hope that the bay will always stay the way it is, and that our generations to come will still enjoy a life on the bay and beside the bay.
It's all good fun. That's all that matters. We're only here for a short while. We best enjoy it. I'm lucky enough to do what I love. Keeps me out here on the bay. Follow your heart, man. Follow your heart.
C'est payé.